Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, what's going on here today? What I do know is that in a previous live stream that said $15,000 is what it's going to cost Warren Hunt in time and monies to get to the Philippines. That's just to get to the Philippines. But there's also the trip back, which is another $10,000. So if you consider our time, if you consider the amount of time that we've spent talking about the trip and researching how to get here, and then all the time I spent speaking to the authorities, even I explained to them that the man was coming in on a private plane. Apparently that part of the conversation got lost in translation. So with one gentleman, he gave me the procedure if there was a commercial flight from Australia for the quarantine. However, he missed the part about it being a private flight. Even though that gentleman knew that there were no flights into the Philippines from Australia, I guess he was moving under the presumption that when their flights are available. So he didn't really give me wrong information. He just gave me information based on flights that he believed, and this is the belief of the Philippines authorities as of yesterday, July 14th. They believe that in August, flights will once again be allowed to come into the Philippines. But don't take my word for that, because the gentleman I spoke with was a quarantine officer of the Philippines. And he did have information about the quarantining procedures that is accurate. However, he said that on the 14th of July, that the quarantine procedures that are in effect today, on the 14th, will probably be held over for 15 more days, which would make it August 1st. So he recommended that in August, Warren makes the arrangements to come to the Philippines on a commercial airliner, which he believed was going to be possible. But I explained to the man that if that doesn't happen, well, I explained the procedure that we were going to go through on the 25th was a private jet. So we went through the procedures for the proper quarantining, if planes were available to come from Australia to the Philippines. But then when I explained again that the plane was going to be a private flight, the quarantine officer said, "Sir," to me, and he does not have the procedure for that I would have to call the CAAP, C-A-A-P. The CAAP is the FAA. So when I called them up just before 5 o'clock on the 14th of July, they had probably left the office or weren't taking new calls. So right now, out-of-pocket expenses for Warren to get here are $10,000. My time and Warren's time combined, without still a resolve for the questions at hand, it's got to be 100 hours since I started this procedure, calling up all the hotels and finding out, I have a list of about 7 phone numbers, I think. Just off the top of my head, there are 7 numbers where people have answered the phone, but I have a list of over 25 telephone numbers that were given me from the various hotels that I called up for quarantine officers, municipalities, cell phone numbers that don't work. Only 3 of the numbers that I've gotten in the last 10 days worked. Well, a dozen or so ring. The phone will ring, but only 3 people of all the numbers I have received, only 3 people have ever answered the phone, which is typical of the Philippines. I mean, it's just the way the Philippines works. If you have a cell number in the Philippines, and all the authorities get cell phone numbers, so they give their cell phone number out to another location. Well, if you don't put a load in that cell phone number every 60 days, Globe takes the number away from you. Smart makes the number non-existent. So if you don't put 10 pesos in the phone every 60 days for your Smart and your Globe, then that number becomes useless and you can't get it back. So if you had a business for 10 years and you used the same cell phone number for 10 years and you paid all your, loads for 10 years and one day you're late by 1 hour, the number disappears. It's an amazing thing. I gotta tell you, they should take the people that run that company and put them in jail for stealing your load, number one. Because if you buy a load and you don't use it in 24 hours or 48 hours or 7 days, the load disappears, even if you don't even use it 1 second. Now, if you don't use your phone, somebody like me, I haven't made a cell phone call in 6 months, if I made one then. But I have to put a load in my phone every 60 days or I lose the cell numbers that I've had for going on 6 years now. So I always put the load in on time. However, if you don't, you lose the number. The 200 or 300 people I had in my contacts list, somehow I would have to find those people's numbers out again by going through a Rolodex or a computer program, by a Word document. I'd have to call up 200 or 300 people and give them my new cell number. But by the time I got through those 300 people, 50% of those people wouldn't have a telephone number anyway because they lost their cell numbers. So when they give you a cell number of an authority, of a municipality, of Bohol or Panglao, and that person forgot or didn't or got transferred and that number was no good, that number's just garbage. You go on the internet right now, I will tell you that we have a need of an immigration officer lawyer, okay, Warren and I. And I went on the internet and put immigration lawyers Bohol, and then pressed search. So these are lawyers. These are people that have more than enough money to pay 10 pesos every 60 days. So I will tell you what happens when you go to immigration lawyers Bohol, to give you an idea of how criminal, in my opinion, criminal, the Globe Internet and Smart Internet and Sun Internet services are. These people are criminal. You could have a telephone that you've used for 10 years and you miss one payment and 60 days and 1 hour expires, you lose that telephone number. You can't call Globe up and ask them to reinstate the number. Even if you offered them $1,000 or $5,000, the number is dead. Now, I don't know how long it stays dead. Maybe a couple of years from now you could, or a couple of months, somebody else might be issued the number and you could call the number and ask them to buy the card, buy their SIM card. But as far as I know, the number is never reinstated. So my point is, go to immigration lawyers, Bohol, and just take the first 10 lawyers. And now these are people, the reason I reference, these are people that have the money for the load, and call up the telephone number that's a landline You want to talk about thievery? Let's talk about thievery. Okay. If they have a landline only, and you have a cell phone, and you want to call a landline, I know it's possible. I've never done it, but I'll tell you what I do know what it costs. There's a code you have to put in from your cell phone to call the landline. So once you put that code in, and I don't know what the code is because I have never done it, but I do know that the cost to call from a cell phone to a landline is 16 pesos per minute. Well, that's what it was. For a landline to call a cell phone is 16 pesos per minute. And there might be an initial 2-minute startup charge if you do call from a landline to a cell phone or vice versa. Digressing back to the lawyers, call up the first lawyer that pops up on the screen, his landline, disconnected. There is no other number, and he doesn't have a website. Call up the second number. There's a cell number that is disconnected. And there's a landline that's disconnected. So the second lawyer, that's 2 lawyers that you can't get in touch with. The third lawyer has a landline that rings, but no one answers the landline, and a cell number that's dead. And the fourth lawyer has a cell phone number that rings, but no one answers, and a landline that rings, but no one answers the landline, and they don't have a website. And the same thing goes on for as far down the list as you go. So the reason I mention this is because the numbers that were given to me by the quarantine officer, the hotel staff that gave me information, telephone numbers to get information from, the information that they give you as far as phone numbers are concerned are useless. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I wanted to document an incident that occurred in Bohol. So I called up the police station, the local police station, for 7 hours. Their emergency number was, no one answered the emergency number for 7 hours. So eventually I just went to the police station itself and did what I had to do. But for 7 hours, no one answered the telephone number at the police station. When I got there, it was because they were having a free giveaway for foods for the local people. So whoever was giving away the vouchers for the food was the person that was supposed to be answering the phone in the police station. So for 7 hours, if you had an emergency, the phone wasn't being answered at the police station. And when I said, well, what would have happened if someone had an emergency where they had to contact the police? And the answer was very simple, very logical, very simple, very true. If you ever have an emergency and someone doesn't answer the phone, just come to the police station. There'll always be somebody on duty. And they said it to me with a straight face because they believed that answer was the answer to be given, a proper answer and a valid answer. I didn't even go into the possibility, what if there was an emergency and you couldn't come to the police station? Because what's the point? More fun in the Philippines, baby. Let's go to the comments. Warren is back. There are hidden images on the currencies. American Pulsar. There are hidden images on the U.S. currency, Masonic and biblical. Actually, American Pulsar, my book proves that the Ark of the Covenant is on the dollar bill. I hate dealing with lawyers, says Warren. That's going to be something that Warren, I don't know if he's being facetious, but one thing that Warren is going to do a lot of when Warren comes to the Philippines is we have to redo the paperwork for the ownership of the hotel and the lease. So we're going to be dealing with lawyers for several days. Pedro Rojas Cervantes is doing a joke. He doesn't believe me, but Pedro is always here and always on my side. The movie, says Pedro, Brazil is coming to pass, huh? It's a great system in the fills. Like that, says Warren. You guys are being facetious. That means kidding. So, as you can see, I'm back online for the 4th time today, only because Jack Thompson said he was going to come on live and do something called, he said, a Blue Vein special. I don't know what the hell he was talking about, but Jack Thompson said that something about a shrimp, something about removing what is called the blood vein on the back of a shrimp. There's a black vein that runs along the top of the back of a shrimp's caricature, or hardened surface. And Jack was going to explain something about deveining. It's called deveining a shrimp, but he said something about that he was an expert on blue veins. And I've never seen a blue vein on the back of a shrimp. I've seen black, but maybe in Boston, the veins on the shrimp might be different. Maybe the blood is blue. So only Jack Thompson, a true Bostonian, would know about blue veins on the backs of shrimps. I don't know what the hell he was saying. Half the times me and Jack are laughing so hard that I can't keep track. So I can't keep track of Jack. Hoodwink knows he's seen the Seraphim and the Baphomet. That's right. Now I worked on the A10. I did 4 different jobs that I remember, but I was they were preparing me to work in the jig room of the A10A. My skill sets and my partner's skill sets, Tom Jaskowski, we had the highest recorded ever time study program marks when we went into a time study at Fairchild Industries. We had, between the two of us, the Air Force sent a time study team where they sit there with a stopwatch and they time you on how long it takes to go get a drill bit, or how long it takes to get rivets, or how long it takes you to lay out the drill scheme. Like when we installed a rib in the tail section of the aircraft, that was one of our jobs. When we measured where the rib goes, we would get the rib from the stock and we'd put the rib in place, and then we would start measuring and lining up the rib for the longitudinal axis of the aircraft, and then we'd lock it in place, and then we would drill a hole in the rib through a lateral piece of aluminum or skin that might be extended from the previous rib, and we would lock it in place and then do our measurements. So that process takes a certain amount of time. So that process is where we got the time study done. So how long it takes to walk to get the rib, how long it takes to come back and put the rib in place, how long it takes to set the rib, how long it takes to get the next piece of skin. You'd have to go to the skin shop, go get the skin. You'd have to fill out a form. How long does it take to fill out the form? How long did it take to walk to the skin shop? Because the guy would walk behind you. Then at the skin shop, how long it takes to order the skin over the counter, because you'd be ordering a pre-manufactured skin for the aircraft. And then when you get the skin, how long does it take to walk back to the it's called the ship, it's not called an aircraft. How long does it take to walk back to the ship? How long does it take for you to talk to your partner about setting up the clamping pattern for the skin? How long does it take to mark the first hole to drill, then to drill a hole? And then how long does it take, you're ready to drill a hole, you have some marks made, bing. How long does it take for you to get the drill and the air, it's all air tools, the air cord up to the ship, because you're on a scaffolding. Okay, so how long it takes you to put the drill bit in the drill, click, okay? Put the drill bit in the thing, click, the drill bit's in. How long does it take to get the first drill hole? Click, you're in. So that study was done on myself and Tom Jaskowski, and based on the other jobs that Al, my foreman Al, his name was Al, based on the other jobs that he gave us or let me participate in. I wasn't always an active member of every job I went on or every section of the ship that I watched be put together. Like, for instance, putting the bathtub in. I had nothing to do with the work, but I was there installing the bathtub with the men. In other words, I watched how it was done if I needed to help them hold something or hand them tools. So the object from Al, my foreman, was to get me into the jig room for design and modification. Because one of the first things I did when I got to Fairchild Industries was I didn't like the way something was designed, and I talked to the foreman about it, and he looked at me, he said, yeah, that might be a better way. So he asked to fill out a bunch of forms and paperwork and send it to the jig shop. But that's where they wanted me to end up modifying, making modifications and overseeing modifications on the ships at Fairchild Industries. So that was my job, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. I wanted to be working on aircraft at the airlines, but at the time they weren't hiring, to answer your question. Okay, let's go back here. Pretty damn funny when someone starts a stream to make fun of your stream crashing, and then that stream crashes and they take it down right away. Did that happen again? The internet here in the Philippines, I mean, what I was showing you on my last stream, you guys all saw that the Globe technicians. Okay, I mean, what's there to know about Globe? Tell me what there really is to know about Globe technicians. They came, they've replaced the modem since July 1st. This is the third time since July 1st. Although this time, I'm not going to touch the live stream. I'll show you a picture of it, though. I don't know if I could do that. Yeah, there you go. Nope. That's the glasses. There's the modem. Okay. See that white box there? The white box has a black box on top of it. Maybe you could see the green lights on top of the black box. Now I don't have a single modem any longer. I have two modems. One operates my internet. I don't know what the other one does. I have no idea. He said, you have two modems now. One operates the internet. Maybe one operates the phone. Either way, if I touch them, there is no operation at all, except to start a new live stream. But anyway, so I hear a story that someone started a live stream to make fun. How shallow is it to actually spend time to talk about someone else's live stream failing when I have nothing to do with the live stream, whether it's going to stay live or not? Am I the service provider for the internet in the Philippines? Is my name Mr. Globe? No. Did you see the Globe technicians come last time? Yes. Did they do a fine job? Yes. These guys do everything they possibly can to help me. Hold on a minute. We have a big storm rolling in here. Let me get the curtains open a little bit. All right. Wow. It is going to come down. It's going to come down in buckets. The sky is really gray. So anyway, why would someone waste their life energy talking about my stream collapsing? And then Scott says his stream collapsed. Why? What is... Can you imagine what an absolutely non-existent life? I mean, I wouldn't make fun of someone else's live stream collapsing because the internet, as Scott Del Fuego so eloquently coined the term, the internet in the Philippines is garbage. It's guba. Guba means garbage in Visaya. It's blah, blah, blah. It's bula bula. It's garbage. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you need content, if that's your content, right, that's not very much content. So, pretty damn funny when someone starts a stream, says Scott Del Fuego, to make fun of your stream crashing, and then that stream crashes, and then they take it down right away. Pedro Rojas Cervantes, time in motion studies, yes. Okay, yep, that was what they put me on, Pedro. They called it a time study, but everything I did, if I went to the bathroom, they even asked me what I had to do in the bathroom. If I was going to wash my hands, they would follow me into the bathroom. Wherever I went, that stopwatch and the gentleman attached to the stopwatch went with his pad. And then Tom, wherever Tom went, he had an associate that followed him around too. So if we went to the bathroom and we went into the stall, they would ask me what I did in the stall, one or two. So I mean, the time study is so. So let me digress back to my mark on the time study was my average, and Tom Jaskowski's average was 135%. It was the highest average ever averaged on a time study in the history of Fairchild Industries. But that wasn't what screwed up our career at Fairchild Industries. What screwed up our career at Fairchild Industries is that we had only been working for Fairchild. Now that was I don't remember if it was 30 or 60 days, the time study. That wasn't what screwed us up. What screwed us up is that we were there for less than 6 months when they put us on the time study. And both of us were graduates from Aviation High School and the Academy of Aeronautics. And we both had our A&P licenses to work on jet aircraft, but we had never worked on building jet airplanes for any commercial endeavor before. So this was our first job working in the aircraft industry and our first time study. So what they based our average of 135% on was previous time studies done by people that worked in the industry for years, doing riveting and drilling and setting frames. And those people were in Fairchild Republic Airport at the time my time study was going on. Those were other people's time studies also. So they based our time study on veterans that were doing the same work. And a veteran was somebody that, not a veteran on the A-10A, because we only had the first 30 ships in the hangar, but a veteran sheet metal workers. So there were guys with 25, 30, 40 years experience building the A-10A ships. For the first time, they were doing frames and putting in the bathtub and empennages and whatever they were installing. So their 30 years experience as sheet metal workers, they were getting rated. How long it took to get a rivet, how long it took to put the drill bit in, how long it took to drill the hole. So based on veterans' time studies, Our time study percentage was 135%. It was the highest disparity in the history of Fairchild Industries. And eventually, when it came time to rehire us, when the next cycle came around, because you had 6-month contracts, neither one of us got rehired. And Al came to us our foreman came to us during the time study and said, look, you guys can do what you want, but if you continually, we were getting marks like 175%, 160%, 150%. That's why our average was 135% between the two of us. That I don't know what our singular averages were, but based on veterans, we were doing 60, 70, 80% higher than veterans on the same job. And this was our first job. So had we been proficient at what we were doing, our time study would have been 200+%. But Al said, if you can do that, it's your prerogative, but they're not going to rehire you. And Tom and I talked about it, and we said we didn't care. And we did our time study, and we finished our contract, and they wouldn't rehire us. They rehired probably, I don't know, there was about 1,000 people from Aviation High School and the Academy of Aeronautics there. And they do those 6-month hiring jobs so they can let go of the slack. Well, we weren't slack, so to speak, but we were undesirables at Fairchild Industries because we made the veterans look bad. That was funny. Anyway, neither one of us cared, and we both didn't get rehired. Okay, so, yeah, I've seen that video, Warren. Oh, let me tell you the name of the video I wanted to tell you about, where you can find out about what's going on in the world right now. So, the name of the video is, and I'm going to say it slow, and I'll say it 2 or 3 times. There's 2 people in the video. One's man name is in the title. Dr. Jensen. That's Jericho Echo November Sierra Echo November. Dr. Jensen. Under fire. For, F-O-R, exposing America, and then the and sign, like the S, and vaccine evil plan to depopulate Africa. Okay, so if you look up the words Dr. Jensen, Jensen, under fire for exposing America, you should come to the video. Now, what's in the video is Dr. Jensen is a physician someplace in mid-America, a white man, that explains how they're numbering the deaths from the virus. Even though the acknowledged way from the American Medical Association's journal says how you should write up a death certificate, doctors and hospitals all over America are getting separate orders from the agencies that work directly for agencies like WHO or the government or Dr. Fauci. So, and they're contrary to the way the death certificates are supposed to be made out. And everybody knows this now, but if a person gets into a motorcycle accident and their internal injuries cause their heart to cease to pump, they still get tested for the virus. And if the virus is in their blood, the American Medical Association says you should list the death as motorcycle accident, but the United States government, Fauci, the WHO, and other organizations, the Bill Gates Foundation, they want it registered as a COVID virus death. And for that, the hospital receives an additional $39,000 for funding if they falsify the death certificate. So that's what Dr. Jensen, under fire for exposing America, that's his part of the video. Now, there's another guy, an intellectual doctor, I guess, from Africa, where he, in the second half, at exactly, exactly half, the video is 30 minutes long, and I'm going to say that at the 14-minute mark, exactly at the 14-minute mark, the man from Africa, whose name I didn't get, starts talking about what is happening, why it's happening, when the plan was devised to make it happen, via Henry Kissinger back in the 60s and 70s, and even before that, but Henry Kissinger, the Club of Rome is involved, the Vatican is certainly involved, the Rockefeller Foundation is certainly involved, and this man at the 14-minute mark gives you word for word, he reads from the Rockefeller Foundation's words from their foundation, how to cause a pandemic, how to keep it going, and at the same time how to destroy the economy. I'm not kidding. I mean, this guy's reading the document that was placed in the Rockefeller Foundation's footprint of documents 30 years ago. And now they're instituting the plan. Now, the video in question is on a channel called Joe Morales, Joemorales, but really his name is Joe Morals. So it's a play on words. And he has 400 subscribers, and he averages about 3 views on a video. But I am subscribed to his channel, Joe Morals, Morales. And every single one of his videos is about the government and what they're doing to destroy the economy, not of America, not of the Philippines, but of the world. Every one of his videos has to do with a political figure getting arrested for pedophilia, rape, murder, self-mutilation. I mean, there is not a single video on that guy's page that you can't watch and say, what? Really? And that's the video I want you to go watch. There was a great, okay, we got that. Michael, did you yell at the foreman when telling him about the changes you wanted, like you did me when I was helping you with the PC, LOL? Actually, Warren and I, we did get into a little bit of a tiff the other day. Now, yelling, I don't know that I actually yelled. I did, however, voice my opinion very profusely, profoundly at Warren. I did, but, and here's the bottom line, being that you brought it up. Warren, I had to make my point. I had to validate my point. And it seemed at the time, if you remember where you were and the medication that you were on, you weren't understanding normal English. So I raised the vibratory rate of my voice just slightly to make you understand that something you said a year ago didn't happen. I just wanted to remind you about that. And you were missing the point. So when you change the inflection and the amplitude of the voice pattern itself, and you direct it towards the person specifically that you're talking to on Skype, the understanding that you're projecting changes to the person receiving the projection on Skype. And if you remember, when we were done and the amplitudes went up and then down, you understood perfectly well what I was trying to get across for then, at that time, 30 minutes. So did I raise my voice with Al? No, because Al was not on medication when I was explaining to him how to modify a specific thing to change and make it better. And I was right, by the way. That modification eventually, Al wrote it up, and Al was not the foreman of building A10As because he was picked arbitrarily. He was a genius sheet metal man. He went over whatever I had designed or changed, and that went into the jig modification room. I don't know what was done with it, but it wouldn't go to the jig room if it wasn't a good idea. Now, as far as getting me, as they wanted to make me a jig man, they call it a jig man, I was placed in the jig room for a certain amount of days so that the jig men in charge of the jigging of the frames and structures of whatever they were working on, it was a full manufacturing plant, to see if I would fit in with the jig men, and they had accepted me, no problem. Now, what do you do in a jig room? You don't do the Irish jig or anything like that. Well, the jig room had every type of overhead clamping procedure and measuring devices up to 10,000th of an inch. But the main component of the jig room was, I don't remember exactly how big it was, but I would say 15 feet by 15 feet square and at least 18 inches thick. It was a piece of what appeared to be solid granite, and it was perfectly flat, and it was like 15 feet by 15 feet, and the room was air conditioned controlled, and that surface was flat to within 10,000th of an inch flat. This way, when they put the jig on or anything else, and they shone light behind it, that you would see if the frames were square or true, TRUE. So in the jig room, they did all kinds of things. The frames would come from the extrusion part of the factory. Everything was made for the A10A in different places, but some things came from outside. But for instance, if a rib was going to be used on a ship, it would first go onto a slab like that, and they'd put the frame on the slab, and they would measure it to see if it was out of kilter. So yeah, I actually was accepted as a jig man. Wasn't something I wanted to do, but I think I would have did it for a few months. But yeah, I had the qualifications and the knowledge to be a jig man because of my licenses, and or my experience was just a natural thing that I did, being able to build stuff. People, they run their mouth on different places. They run their mouth about my qualifications, but my qualifications are solid when it comes to building something. Whatever appears to be, or whatever someone rants on or raves about, it's just inside their head as far as building is concerned. American Plaza. I have a few friends in the corps who were in both Enduring Freedom and Iraq freedom that were saved by the A-10. They tell me the brrrt sound is unforgettable. Yeah, I never heard that except on the on the documentaries they have on YouTube. But I actually, and I probably will never find the picture. When we walked into the entrance of Fairchild Industries, the main entrance where you punch in, they had the Gatling gun right, I don't know, I don't think it was 50 feet from the front entrance. And it was on display. And it was there the first few months that I worked at Fairchild. And I sat on top of it, as did everybody else. And although you weren't supposed to take pictures, that was like the one thing that everybody took a picture of. Like you took your little camera. They had those little film cameras, 16 millimeter cameras. And everybody had a picture of them sitting on the Gatling gun. And nobody ever said anything about taking pictures there. So after a few months, the first ship flew out while I was still at Fairchild Industries. I would imagine they put that gun on the first ship, and it was the only gun they had. But that was pretty cool. I never heard the gun go off, but I do remember that I worked from 2 to 2, or 2 to 12, depending on what week I was working. It changed. But I was working 12-hour days, 6 days a week, and then 7 days a week. So I'd work 13 days with no time off. But the ship took off from Republic Airport before I got to work on one day, whatever day that was. American Pizza, I thank you for your... No one's ever thanked me for my work at Fairchild, but I got to tell you, that was fun. Thank you very much, American Plaza. Warren says, American Plaza, it's amazing sound in real life. No wonder the troops love the A-10A so much. Pedro Rojas, mind control modem. Yeah, modulates and demodulate memes. I got to tell you, this problem with the internet in the Philippines, you saw the way that the men come in, move around, they know exactly what to do and where to go. Now it's like they have been here so many times in the last 3 years. I don't know what to say, and they can't do any more than they've done. I used to get upset that they had to come, but now I look forward to chit-chatting with them. So, as you can see, the phone that I gave them, the old antique phone I had, where is that phone? The Angelo, I gave him the phone, and he said to me, what is that? And I said, it's a telephone. He goes, no, it's not. This is before the video. I said, yeah, it's a phone. He goes, how does it work? I says, you put the number in. He said to me, this is what he said. It has no keypad. That's what he said. I'm not lying to you. He said it has no keypad. How do you dial? So this phone is a Bell South. It's a lineman's telephone. It's from the 1950s, I would imagine, based on the color of the wire, the red and the black wire. After that, they changed the color, and the color of the phones went from blue to blue and yellow to blue only again. So this one's about 70 years old. Western Electric Bell System, Western Electric. Bell System, Western Electric. One day I'll take a picture of it. So let's go back to the comments. Jim Disbrow, do you remember our first conversation on here? I trolled you for being cheap and shut your reply down with a super chat. I had my wife watch. Still funny. Of course, Jim Disbrow. I remember you well. What I do remember exactly is that Jim and I were going back and forth, and I said to Jim, why don't you be, I don't remember the words, but I said, there was somebody breaking my chops about becoming a member of my Patreon account. I don't remember every word of it. So Jim said, I can be a member of his Patreon account in 60 seconds. And 60 seconds later, maybe 90 seconds later, I got an email. Jim Disbrow is now a member of your Patreon account. I do remember the conversation. And then Jim went on to help me fix a computer issue. Not just a few minutes, but Jim and I spent a few hours on the phone, and he did his best to correct a computer issue. It was about the clock on the computer, 1 hour and 1 day ahead. Jim got the clock back to the correct time and locked in the computer by becoming part of working on the screen together, and then it lasted a few days, and then it went back to 1 day and 1 hour. Like, for instance, right now my clock says 11:51, but it's 12:51. Now, when Jim and I were together, I think the clock was 1 hour and 1 day ahead. So that part Jim fixed, but the 1 hour ahead on the clock, it's not possible to fix. Now, it's 12 hours, 13 hours ahead of America's time. I wanted my clock set so that there would just be a simple 12-hour time difference. Jim did spend a lot of time fixing it, and he was a member of my Patreon account for several months. So I remember Jim Disbrow. Thank you very much for your assistance. And we did have some laughs over that. There was no doubt about that. Thank you for stopping by, Jim. All right, so how could you forget a man that makes me look like a fool? Jim Disbrow did that, especially. All right, so Warren is, especially when they aren't going to do back and forth chismes anymore. What a sad life. Way too much time on someone's hands. American Plaza. Warren H., I bet. Pedro Rojas Cervantes. Small minds talk about people. Mediocre minds talk about events. Noble minds speak about concepts and ideas. And that brings me back to the Dr. Jensen under fire for exposing America vaccine evil plan. If you think I'm kidding you about what's going on in this world, what I have been telling you is going to happen for 10 years. I'm not kidding. I want you all, if you just came in, Google Dr. Jensen under fire for exposing America. Warren says to Pedro Rojas, Sue is my friend. Pedro, Sue who? Pedro Rojas. I meant sure is my friend. Warren is instigating. I'll see instigation. Couldn't find your channel for a long time. You're back. First saw you about 6 years ago. Well, thank you. ICS 831 USA. Yeah, YouTube doesn't make it easy to find my channel. Thank you, ICS. People's own credulity will prevent them from seeing what is being done to them, says Bertrand Russell, and reiterated by Pedro Rojas Cervantes. Amigo! The WHO is as useless as their false positive test. That's true. I bought property last year, but now I want to use the investment towards qualifying for a FFV visa, plus I want to get a 25-year lease. You can do that. I don't know anything about that. I don't know much about buying. Well, I know that foreigners can't buy property, so I would never even look into it. So I've never looked into buying property. But I will tell you that if you lease a property, for the duration of your lease, that's your property. You can do whatever you like on the property, as long as you have plans and permits. Pedro, that's a good quote, says Warren H. Okay, so we're about ready. I'm getting ready to eat. I had breakfast I got up late this morning, but I am getting hungry. Look at the American Plaza. Look up the National Biodefense Strategy of 2018. The entire game plan is laid out there, and it's public record. Oh, it's been public record for 50 years. The strategy, American Plaza, has not changed, just the words and what organization is putting out the words. But the man on the Dr. Jensen under fire video after the 14 mark reads directly from the Rockefeller Foundation's website. Pedro says he was unusually candid at times. Impact of science and society and education and the good life. Yep, Operation Lockstep, says Pedro. Yeah, you should, people out there that have never heard of Operation Lockstep, the plan has been in existence for 50 years to do to you what they're doing to you today, and to destroy all commerce of the world. American Plaza. Event 201 was held back in October 2019. The precise date was October 12th or 17th, one of those two. And what do you know? Bill Gates finds it, and Bill Gates finds it and Johns Hopkins University in the one administrating the event. Well, yeah, Event 201 was a primer to screw the world. American Plaza funds it. Bill Gates funds it. He did. Yes, Plaza. We are in an exercise gone live. That's right. And they do it as an exercise so that if there's crosstalk about the event itself, they'll say, oh, we were just performing an exercise. But now it's real. They are locking up the economy of the world. You know, I have family, close family, not so close family. They actually believe all this horse shit. I'm going to tell you something. In a few minutes, I'm going to lose the internet. The leaves on the tree have turned upside down. The wind has stopped, and the sky is gray. I mean, there is no wind at all. I would imagine we are in for... I'm looking at palm fronds that aren't even swaying even an inch. Yeah, we're looking at typhoon wind, typhoon force winds, according to the leaves on the tree. All right, so let me get through the comments, and then I'm going to say goodbye, and then I'm going to call Warren up. Warren and I need to talk. American Plaza. Yep, here's your $1,200 participation check. We thank you for your service. I really should talk about that $1,200 check. I don't think I deserve that check. I know damn well a lot of other people don't deserve to get a $1,200 check because their cost of living hasn't changed. They haven't, like a welfare recipient. Say you get a welfare recipient in Harlem, New York, or Brooklyn, East New York. and they've been receiving welfare for 30 years. Why should they get a welfare? Why should they get a $1,200 check? Why? Nothing in their life has changed, yet everyone's going to get one. So it is, in fact, a payoff. It's payola. It's extortion money. They're extorting your vote towards the Democrat platform, or even if Trump wins again. Trump is not your friend, buddy. You want to know about Trump? Let me tell you about Trump. I'll give you a 15-second dissertation about President Trump. Here's President Trump, and every morning, President Trump wakes up and gargles with Listerine mouthwash. Except you see Listerine, but behind the Listerine label, if we turn it around, is the subliminal message that Mr. Trump is giving to the American people. It's called Lysol. Lysol will disinfect the people of this flat earth from the flat earth itself, or globe, whatever you choose to believe. But Lysol, the WHO, the Bill Gates Foundation, the Vatican, the Rockefeller Foundation, Queen of England, the Bank of England, and of course, the Rothschilds, not to mention the great state of Israel. This is the plan. The Lysol disinfectant of the people of this flat earth is in progress. I told you it was going to happen. I warned you it was going to happen. I moved to the Philippines because I thought it was only going to happen in first world countries. I had no idea they were going to shut down the economy of the Philippines. But now that they did, it only cements my concept of the end of things as you know it. And the reason I posted a video today called Why Did I Move to the Philippines that I made in 2013. Go look at that video. You'll know damn well that wasn't last week. I have a 5-inch long beard, the beard of wisdom. 2013, I told you they want you to cease to breathe. They want all breathing of what is Henry Kissinger calls the useless eaters to stop breathing. That is the plan. And Mr. Trump, Mr. No Wall, Mr. Trump, Mr. No Prosecute Miss Hillary Clinton, Mr. Trump, Mr. No Look into the background of Mr. Obama's records, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, no 5G, but we have to install 5G everywhere, Mr. Trump, and Mr. Trump, who bows down to his immediate council of 10, 7 of which are dual citizens of Israel or Jewish, and the other 3 have wives or husbands that are dual citizens of Israel or Jewish, all of which belong to the AIPAC. Every one of them belong to AIPAC. Mr. Trump, he's a Trump puppet for the great state of Israel, who has designed and made all the necessary arrangements to install 5G all over the world, more specifically all over the first world countries, but doesn't have a single 5G tower in their country. Mr. Trump, Israel loves you, and you love Israel, Mr. Trump. So let's talk about Mr. Trump. Let's talk about his transformation. That's right. Let's talk about the Trump. If Mr. Trump becomes the president again, he will, in fact, put on a mask. That's right, baby. It's the face of the Trump puppet. This is Mr. Trump's mask, mascata, as we say in Versailles. Mr. Trump, he is controlled, being told what to do by certain entities and or powers and principalities that control the world via the Vatican, via the Rockefeller Foundation, the Masons, all of those guys, all of them guys, they want your breathing habits to pretty much cease to exist. Yay! It's happening to a city and town near you. This is your future right here. Trump and his dual citizenship relationship with his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. One of Benjamin Netanyahu's closest friends was Jared Kushner's father. They served in the Israeli army together, the Mossad. Mr. Trump's son-in-law, father, served in the Mossad with Benjamin Netanyahu. And now Jared Kushner is one of the most powerful people in the Trump administration with direct ties to the president of Israel. So close that the president of Israel sleeps in Jared Kushner's bed when he visits his father's house. Yay, Israel. Yeah, baby. And who controls Israel, or vice versa, who controls the Vatican? Who knows? Just remember, the number one rule in Masonry, all Masonry, there's only one demanding, qualifying number one rule of all Masons to be called upon: to follow the rules of your government. Don't forget it. That's the number one rule. Follow the government's rules. So they're all in on it. Just a matter of who you want to think is in charge. That's right, baby. This is Michael Fazio giving it to you straight. I just gave you more information than most people could even comprehend. Now, people go, oh, look at Steve Montelli knows, but he won't tell you. Steve Montelli's my hero. He's a conspiratorium expert. Steve, if you're out there, we love you, baby. So, there you go. You heard it here first, and second, and third, and I've been saying it for 10 years. The United States government is controlled by the Vatican. The Vatican is controlled by the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers are controlled by the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are controlled by the great state of Israel. The great state of Israel is controlled by the Club of Rome. Then we have the Knights of Malta. We have the Knights of Columbus. You people don't stand a chance. If I were you, here's what I would do. I would go out and buy food. That's what I would do if I were you. And especially if you live in America, I would go out and buy a lot of food. That's what I would do. That's about your only option at this point, because they're about ready to shut down the grocery stores. That's next. Plenty of food now, plenty of access to plenty of food in America, but that's next. That's next. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's part of the plan. It's part of the plan that was read on Dr. Jensen. Dr. Jensen Under Fire. It's part of the plan that the man goes over at the end of, after the 14-minute mark. The shutting down of the airports and the hospitals and the fake numbers, that's just the beginning. The end game is to shut down, control all resources, fuel, which includes fossil fuel, coal, and wood, and forests, so you can't even cut down a tree. Do you know that right now, in most places in America, if you take a 55-gallon drum or a 5-gallon bucket and put it under a water spout behind your house, you can be arrested. You can go to jail for collecting rainwater in a lot of places in America. If you have a pond on your property that you built that isn't like grandfathered in, let's say you build a little reservoir on your property, dig a big hole, put a big rubber mat in it, and then let the water run off the roof into the pond, you go to jail for that. That's interfering with the natural flow of water, period. They can arrest you and fine you enough money to take your house away from you, all within a matter of just less than a week. The whole process is done. You're done. Your house is gone, and your life savings is gone, and you're in jail for collecting rainwater. You don't think I'm serious? That's the law in a lot of places. But food is next. Pay attention. There's going to be a quiz. Warren says, I'm laughing at the moment. Friends can disagree and still be friends. Well, at the end of the day, we are going to go with option number one, which was my idea, by the way, if you remember. No, actually, well, it was your idea, but your idea sucked. But when I gave it a little bit of thought, then I realized that your idea was okay. And when it became my idea, it was a good idea, and you agreed. I mean, that's just the way things work out. Bobby Crush, check PayPal. I don't know that I have a PayPal. I have a PayPal. Check PayPal. I don't know. Bobby Crush, have you heard of Fred Dibna, a brilliant engineer and English legend? He was a steeplejack and steam engine man. No, I never heard of him. If you want to leave a link, Bobby Crush, if you'd like to leave a link and you're still here, please do so. I'll check it out. Pedro says, compliance, submission, interdependence, and centralization of power. That's right. That's what they're doing right now. It's being done. Pedro Rojas Cervantes, do you feel people who live outside the U.S. should still be given the stimulus check when they have not worked in almost 30 years? I don't agree with anybody getting a stimulus check unless they've been working recently and things in their life have changed. Nobody, including myself, deserves a stimulus check if nothing has changed in my life in 6 years. I'm not working. I'm not paying into the system any longer. Nothing has changed in my life. I don't believe I deserve a check. But everybody's getting one because it's really bribing the people of the world to believe this bullshit, to let it, it's just a little, here, take this. Here, take this. Just take this, and in a few months, everything's going to get better. The difference is nothing's going to get better. It's not going to happen. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And it's getting worse. You're not listening. American plasma. Begone, detested care. Begone, once more we banish thee. Begone, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Begone, dull care. And all the winds make merry with thy dust. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer set us free. I read it as best I could. I don't know where it's from, but thanks for that little stimuli. And then he puts a little face there. I can't make it. It's a devilish face. Paisa. Paisa. Okay, well, my Paisa. Salamat. American. Paisa. Okay, not plaza. Okay, it looks like an L to me. Paisa. American paisa, like paisano. Thank you. Shakespeare, Pedro Rojas. Yeah, Pedro. Well, I gotta go. American Paisa. been fun chatting with you guys. Again, thanks for your work at Fairchild. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you, American Paisa. Salamat. Bye, mate. Says Warren. Ed Van Hagen, how do you take pictures with that phone? You want to take pictures with the phone? You take the phone like this, right? On the back, it has a keypad. And you take this phone and you put it next to the keypad and you take the picture and you tell everybody it's your newfangled phone. That's how you do it. Look at this phone. It even has a clip-on for the belt. You clip it on to your belt like this. Clips onto the belt. Let me take the wires off it. Look at this. It only weighs about 1.5 pounds too. I got a couple of these, but not this. This is my oldest phone. And how you dialed it was turn this little dial here. And there's little holes so that the pole man, the guy that went up on the pole, there's little holes so he could stick a probe in there and dial it. If he had gloves on, if it was snowing or raining, he could just put the probe in the holes like this, like a toothpick, put it in the hole and dial. This one is locked up. Either way, I have another one that's not locked up. I grabbed the wrong antique Bell Weston phone. So there's the phone. And on the side has a switch over here. Turns the phone on and off. And you can take it apart a little bit from the back. I never took this one apart. I took another one apart. Just a bunch of electronic circuits and magnets and stuff like that in there. It says Bell Western on it. Bell System Western Electric. Bell System Western Electric. All right. That's how you take a picture. You put the cell phone next to the... We used to call those the alone phone. Because... We used to call those the alone phone because everybody had one. And totally not loud, but everybody had one. And we would go, anywhere there was a line coming from a pole and just hook it up to a line and call anytime, anywhere. You could call up. I remember I went to the projects in Astoria on 76th Street in the Grand Central Parkway. The guy's name was Mike. Alex Aguera and Mike, I forgot his last name, lived there. Anyway, in the projects in the bottom were the phone boxes with 35, 40 pairs, P-A-I-R-S, pairs of wires coming into the box. And we would go there at night, and if we had friends in other states or even other countries, we would just hook the phone up and call anywhere in the world for free. Of course, the pair that we were connected to eventually had to pay the bill, but that was probably in 1973, 74, like that. Andrew Steinmetz says, they want us dead. Warren says, Andrew Steinmetz, yes, they want to reduce the number worldwide. Scott LaFuego, are you okay? Scott is probably sleeping. We're going to just bypass that comment, Ed Van Hagen. I wouldn't give you the answer I would state on here. Ed Van Hagen. It was a good question. I'm probably going to pass. Australia is closing interstate borders again. In some states, I think they are trying to close the country down again before they opened it. Jack Thompson, are we live? Well, if it's not the freaking, my wrench with the, Jack Thompson, he was talking about if you were in prison. This was earlier this morning. We had a conversation on Skype. Jack Thompson was talking about if a man went to prison and he was going to be executed for his crimes, what would a man ask for his last meal? So I don't know where to go with that. I mean, apparently Jack had a plan, and what he came up with, after I gave it some thought. I mean, me personally, I think I would want lobster with lemons, fresh lobster, and small clams on the half shell with fresh lemons and hot sauce. Jack had a different idea as for his last meal. He wanted a blue vein steak, whatever the hell that is. He wanted a blue vein steak. Now, I'm pretty sure he meant filet mignon type meat, but he said the meat that he would have for the last meal would have a blue vein running through it. Meanwhile, in Sweden, they haven't shut a damn thing down, and they're all doing just fine. Jack Thompson, yes, sir, we are. Jack Thompson, the number 3s rule the world. Jack Thompson, I don't want to see your big blue vein thing. Blue vein actually is the king of everything. That's right. That's what Jack wants for his last meal, supper. A blue vein steak. Ed, if they are really closing down the Philippines economy, then maybe building a hotel isn't such a great idea, although building costs are cheaper. A man has got to keep busy. My hobby is building stuff. Whatever I'm doing, I'm building or fixing or repairing or preparing to build. That's one of my hobbies. Jack Thompson. Super chat. I see super chat, and that's stupid chat, because every time it goes over $100, somebody donates more than $100. It's stupid chat. So Jack Thompson is a member of the Blue Vein Society. I gotta tell you. And Warren sticks it to Jack Thompson proper to hide Jack's giant blue vein thing. Jack Thompson blue veins me for $1.99, and Warren outdoes Jack Thompson's blue vein by 2 cents, 201, to hide Jack's giant blue vein thing. Jack Thompson said, Fred Dibna, if you dig a hole in your garden, Ed Van Hagen, and stumble upon a gold nugget, then you are officially required to hand it over to the Crown government. Not sure many people would actually comply, though. They have all kinds of rules, Ed. Ed Van Hagen, I'd melt it into small bits and sell small amounts at a time. Jack Thompson, Warren, the blue vein cannot be unseen. Once you hear about Jack Thompson's Last Supper as being a blue vein steak, you cannot even forget it. Forget about unseeing it. Jack Thompson, it's not only not unseeable, it's unrememberable. You're going to remember Jack Thompson's Last Supper as a blue vein steak for the rest of your life. Jack Thompson. Jack Thompson. Once it's seen, it cannot be unseen. Yeah, that's what I said. The Habsters. welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Hapster. Glad to see you again. Mrs. Hapster, I saw I see many of your notices to go watch your show. I just don't have time. I apologize. I know it sounds crazy, but I have a rule about my YouTube time on YouTube. If I'm not live streaming, I specifically stay with educational videos. I don't watch too many other shows. For instance, Chi Corsairs has had, I don't know, she puts on a show every night. I think I went to one show in the last 10 days. And I said, I'll give you a thumbs up and I'll leave. I won't stay on her show more than 90 seconds because what Chi Corsairs has to talk about and the comedy and action that goes on her show is not educational for me. Now, for people that just want to go on and see their name in the comments section, that's a wonderful thing. But I won't do that. Now, some of her shows, when Big E was involved, were really educational and fun to watch. But so, now Mrs. Hapster puts on a lot of great shows, but when she does the live videos of walking around the beach, the action videos where there's people actually in the videos, that's a wonderful thing. But I am not interested in Hawaii, so I don't watch them. But when you put on the live streams of the sky, I'll occasionally go there and see the sky. And you have beautiful skies. You have a beautiful view. But it's not. But I thank you for stopping by my channel. I just don't ever get to anybody else's live stream. I don't comment on. For instance, this week I watch Warren's videos, Mrs. Hapster's videos, some, Chi's, some, Rike's, some, but I don't remember leaving a comment on any video at all in a month or two, even to say good video. Or now, about a month ago, I remember leaving a comment on a video about a Tom Berenger movie. That was the last time I remember leaving a comment. I don't remember what the name of the movie was, but he was some kind of security guard. And they shot, I don't count, but there were more than, it was definitely 2,500 bullets were shot in the first fight scene. 2,500 bullet automatic machine guns and pistols, and 3 guys, and then 5 guys were shooting. It was 2,500 rounds were shot, and nobody got hit. And these are all military black ops officers. And I left a comment saying, granted, there were only 2,500 bullets shot, and they all missed their targets over the distance of 15 feet. But in the second fight scene, all the acquired targets less than 3 meters were hit, except for 80%. Some stupid comment like that. In other words, if they were under 3 meter shots, the black ops officers hit their target. Anything over 5 meters, all bullets were missed. All. They had sniper rifles with scopes and crosshairs and wind velocity vector things on their rifles, and not one person hit anything the first 2,500 bullets. That was the last comment I left on YouTube. Tom Berenger, I like him in some of his movies, but that was just total bullshit. Thumbs up with feelings, Mr. Fazio. Love, love, love from the Hapsters. I know it's coming. Stopping by to say hello. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Hapster. If you see 2 blue veins, run, says Jack. Oh, God. LOL. Thank you, Mrs. Hapster. Love, love, love back at you. Currently, am totally serious about becoming a subscriber to Mr. and Mrs. Hapster's channel, they have a great channel. And they do great vlogs about Hawaii. And actual blogs about Hawaii. I see the green flash on my screen as well. That green flash is probably YouTube, Google, the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, Scotland Yard taking a screenshot picture. That would be what I believe it to be. I've seen it. Yeah. And thank you very much, Mrs. Hopster, for understanding. Yeah, no, I don't watch other people's live streams or videos, pretty much. Some I do, some, but I don't comment on most things. Thank you very much, Mrs. Hopster. They're wonderful people. So if you want to know the court, all right, so there's lots of people that live in Hawaii or have lived in Hawaii, but nobody ever did blogs like Mr. and Mrs. Hopster. I've never seen videos, high quality picture, high quality sound, and live streaming from all over the island of Hawaii that they live on. So, if you want to see high quality videos of Hawaii, there's only one place I know to go see that. Even if you just go to see, they have videos of them walking around really, really, really exclusive malls. The most expensive malls I've ever seen. Videos of them walking on the beach and down outside on rock jetties. Videos of them walking on the rock jetties and fish, like, 18-inch fish. Videos of them walking on the beach. Videos of them hiking. The Hapsters. Please go to their channel and subscribe. Much better than anybody else's channel that ever did a video from Hawaii that I know of. Thank you, Mrs. Hapster. Rojas Savente. Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right about that. Bono's Entertainment. I have posted comments there. You're absolutely right about that. I posted one a few weeks ago. I forgot all about Bono's Entertainment. But Bo is a man that only does videos about police, lawyers, judges, senators, and congressmen, and in general, political figures that get arrested for everything from petty crimes to rape to pedophilia. Yeah, Bono's Entertainment. His channel I will comment on occasionally. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. And Bo and I actually met back in 2000 and... It was New Year's Eve. I think it was 2010 or 11. Edvin Hagen. If we keep making comments, Mr. Fazio won't get around to having breakfast. I think I can hear his stomach starting to growl. Love, love, love from the Hapsters. Too much love will kill you, says Ed Van Hagen. So, you must be a popular man if they are taking your picture then, huh, Mr. Fazio? Well, Mrs. Hapster, I have told the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, Scotland Yard, that if they want to get to know me better, and they have a really, 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 attractive agent that wants to come and take me out to dinner, I would be more than happy to her needs, or to accommodate her needs, if she had needs. So that goes for the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, Scotland Yard, and all the three-letter agencies. If they have an actual beautiful agent that needs servicing, their needs serviced, or has needs for a man like myself, I will accommodate their agent's needs. So when they take my picture like that, Mrs. Hopster, that they're actually taking snapshots of what I look like, and they're putting it in their version of a dating apparatus. So, in other words, here, look, I got the fedora, right? I got the fedora on. They're going, look, that guy looks like Dick Tracy now, right? Now he looks like Clark Kent, right? Okay, now looks a little like Sylvester Stallone, yeah, baby? And now I look like Michael Fazio. So the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, the DEA, and all the other three-letter agencies, they're taking my picture, they're putting it in a book, and then that book, which is digital, of course, that book goes out to all the single agents, the single woman agents in the agency, to look to see if they'd want to date Michael Fazio. So that's why they take my picture. Not because I'm popular, but because they put the, and it's happened before. I don't talk about that much, but on one occasion, one of their agents became a friend of mine, and I ended up dating her for a long time. And I eventually found out what her job was, and she worked for a three-letter agency. Now, I don't know if she kept that secret from me because she just kept it a secret, or I don't know if she was trying to find out information about people that I knew back in New York, back in the 70s and the 80s. But either way, she was a lot of fun, I got to tell you. I'd put her into the category of being one of the most fun women I ever dated. I actually move her up from fun to the spinner category. I'm not kidding you. Whatever she was in real life had nothing at all to do with what she was in the bedroom. And eventually I found out what she did. We still dated for months after that, so I don't think she was put in my direction, or she may have been and just realized that I was a lot of fun. So, but now they're, maybe from her recommendation, they're still taking pictures of Michael Fazio and putting it in that catalog, saying that even 40 years ago, this guy was a lot of fun. You know, because there's not a lot of people in this world that are still capable of having fun. There are a lot of people that think they're funny that aren't funny. There are a lot of people that think that certain types of things are fun, which aren't fun. You get guys that live in Dumaguete or Angela City that believe that dating, you know, girls, very young girls, and illegal girls, that's fun. I don't think that's fun. But there are people that think other things that are fun. I won't mention what they are, but I got to tell you, some of those things that people think are fun, when they, when the shit hits the fan, when eventually they get caught for doing something that shouldn't have been done, it's not so much fun anymore. But, you know, fun is fun to some people. I have people that think that getting drunk is fun. Me, I think the worst thing that a man could possibly do is get drunk. I don't care, even when I was young. I think drinking is a freaking waste of time. But some people think that getting drunk and the 2-day hangover that you get afterwards is something to look forward to next time. I don't know. I have a different version of fun. Fun is when Warren H. gets to the Philippines and gets that damn Sea-Doo jet ski pro with the fishing package. Jack, Miss the Hopsters, you must be a popular man if they are taking your picture. Well, I hope you were stuck around long enough to hear my explanation. Jack Thompson, the bad guys always miss, and the girl always falls down whilst running away. Yeah, baby. The Hopsters rule. The Hopsters live streams are epic. They are good. Aloha, Jack Thompson from the Hopsters. I miss hearing Tammy Pepperman along with Bo. Yeah, I don't watch the Bo and Rocco show at all. I don't watch the show. Haven't watched a single show of the Bo and Rocco show since I was a guest back in 2011 or 12. After that, I've never watched 1 minute of their show. I love Bo and I like Rocco, but I don't watch the show. So Tammy Pepperman, I remember her, but I didn't even know she left the show. The fedora made me do it again. What I should do is put the fedora on backwards, because it has an effect of like a doubling agent. See, this is the fedora backwards. This fedora, the super chats, they flow right over into the top, into the crevice on the top. This side of the fedora, when I turn it around like this, right? This side is flapped up. You got to double up on the super chats to get over the top of the fedora. Let me make it clear. Let me make this perfectly clear. Let me make this perfectly clear what happens. This side here with the tape on it, right? We have the tape right there. That side there is the side with the top up. You got to double super chat me to get over the brim. Well, let me show it to you. It's a big climb. It's a climb right to the top. Okay, so look. Let me make it simple. Look. This side here, right? You can see there's a space here. The money has to go over the top of the brow, of the brim, of the brim. Okay? On this side, the money has to hit the brim and go into the top, up top on here, like the old bowling games where you threw the ball and the ball went into the hole. On this side, it's hard to get the money. You got to double up on the money. On this side here, though, on this side here, the money is, you could put low money, $1.99. You put the low money because on this side here, the money slides right over the top like this. Slides right over the top, like the slime on a clam. Just the money slides right in, no problem. But on this side here, it's like bowling. You got to get the bowling pin, the ball up the alley, up the ramp, and then into the holes on the top here. So if you're gonna super chat and you see the facing like this, the small super chats won't even get recognized. I might not even mention them unless the hat's on like this, where all super chats are accepted. The low super chats are here, and the high super chats are over here. So right now, we'll put it on high because I'm not real doing well right now. Things are bad here in the Philippines. Warren's limiting me to $20,000 US a day on the credit card that he's bringing from me, and he's only super chatting me. It seems like more, but it's less than $50 a day, and I don't know why, and I can't ask him why without embarrassing him, but I won't mention it more than oh my God, the fedora made me do it. Warren, hey Warren, how you doing? Hey buddy, what's up? She was cute, says Warren. Like a screen capture of the green flash, a picture of Jack Thompson, the CIA, the FBI dating service. That was just the woman that they sent in my direction, if they did. I've been on diving vacations to Bonaire, where some guy he was with his wife, the guy, but his wife they worked for Nassau Police Department. And on the plane, he said hello, and when we got to Aruba, we were all getting drunk with the consulate from the American consulate for the Panama Canal. In Panama, all the American consulate and the agents that guarded the consulate, for the colonels, the lieutenants, the generals. There were like 14 people, their wives, and then their security. And this guy became my friend in Aruba, or friended me, because we both came from Long Island, and we had a lot in common. But eventually I found out that he was a specific type of policeman that got me drunk out of my brain. Our dive vacation was over. So after you do 14 days of diving, well, 11 days of diving, 2 or 3 dives a day, you have a certain amount of CO2 in your bloodstream. So you're not allowed to fly for 48 hours. That was the rule then. So for 48 hours after your last dive, you weren't allowed to dive. So there was duty-free alcohol in Bonaire and Aruba. And I don't know how many people, everybody in the hotel, the name of the hotel, it evades me now. I forgot the name. I would have remembered it if I didn't want to remember it. I would have remembered it. But anyway, it was a hotel in Bonaire. And everybody that was diving, men and women, everybody had bottles of alcohol. And when the diving ended, we had a party like you wouldn't believe. Now here's this guy from Long Island. Oh, I didn't know what he did, and I didn't care. And him and his wife and I and the generals and the colonels and their security, we all went diving together every day. So we're together now 13 days. And he goes, we're sitting down, we were hammered on a lounge chair, and he goes to me, do you know such and such? And did he ever do such and such a thing? And I looked at him and going, oh, man, you're a cop. And I walked away. But, I mean, I was drunk. I guess he figured that this was his only opportunity to ask me a question about one of my friends. And when I got back, I told the guy what his name was, because his real name was his real name. And he said, what did you say to him? I said, I just said, oh, man, you're a cop. And he laughed, and he goes, okay. And that was it. So, but that guy was a guy that was looking at another guy to do something to the guy for many years. He was trying to get information about the guy who I'm talking about being the guy. So when I got back, my friend, the guy, asked me what I said to the guy. I said, I didn't say nothing to the guy. I just laughed. I said, oh, you're a cop. He figured that I was that drunk that he could pump me for information. And I said, oh, man, you're a cop. That was the end of it. That was funny. That was one funny. I remember that. What was the name of that hotel? I'll try to remember. Jack Thompson, Alphabet Dating Service, signed me up. Yeah, baby. There's more stupid chat. I didn't even get the pot yet. I wonder what the pot would do to a crew like that. No, I'm not going to get the pot. Yeah. Warren says, the way that someone reports me to a 3... Yeah, I've been told, I've heard the words come out of a certain person's mouth that they reported me to the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, Scotland Yard, and all because of these 2 steel nuts that I told people I worked on bridges with, because I have 2 steel nuts like this, and made a reference that if these were made out of something else, and I took them and smashed them together at 32 kilometers per second, that they would explode. I was reported to the NSA, the FBI, the CIA, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the NBI in both Cebu and Bohol. How did that work out for you? Mr. Fazio, did you ever watch InfoWars? At that point, did you suspect Alex Jones of being nothing but a fraud? Alex Jones is He's not a fraud. He tells you the truth. But he's a disinformation info agent that I always believed from day one that anybody became friends with Alex Jones went on the watch list. The Philippines, what is the exchange rate there? It was, well, last I saw last week, it was 50 pesos to the dollar. It was 50.2 pesos to the dollar, Mrs. Hapster. No, the Australian dollar is 60. The Australian dollar, I could tell you what it is, but I don't really feel like looking at my bank account. Thumbs up from Jack Thompson. Warren, I didn't even know about his wife dying. Yeah, that's sad indeed. Warren, Ed Van Hagen. Only reason I know she died of cancer during my first round of treatment. I don't know who that is. Oh, I guess Dog the Bounty Hunter you're talking about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody. You know how to get to pull my heartstrings. Double super chats if you see the tape like that. And single super chats, single dollars, go right over the top like this. But if you send me just $1 super chat, it won't get over the brim. The brim will stop a small dollar donation. I almost said lousy dollar donation, but I would never say that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching my live stream. All 4 of them. And God day to everybody. Because with Mr. Obama having been in the White House and Mr. Trump in the White House, I'm going to tell you, America doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of being America in 10 years, in 10 months, maybe 10 weeks. You have no idea. Thank you very much, Pedro. Good cheers, Rabbi, and good folks. 100 Filipinos pesos equals 2.889 Australian dollars. Okay, thanks. Warren H. Michael, sure. The nurse just arrived, so I will ring when she leaves. Okay, Warren, thank you. That's not bad, Warren, about the price of beer. No, bye-bye all. Okay, yeah, we're going to end it. I'm hungry. See ya, Warren, says Ed Van Hagen. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Thanks for the good cheer, the fun. And if you forgot to subscribe to my channel, the Hapsters. Love, 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 baby. The Hapsters. Thank you, Mrs. Hapster. If you forgot to, I don't normally ask people to subscribe, but being that I hear all of these other people mentioning it, I only just remembered. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If you didn't push the thumbs up, I don't give a shit. But subscribe for more just like it. And next time, bring a credit card, because I might just decide to run what I call a legitimate scam. And if you don't send me money, I won't do things for you. Like if you send me like $50, I'll bang a pot. I'll bang a pot a lot for $20. For $10, I'll take the pot out and show you how a pot gets banged. For $50, I'll show you how black pots matter. You know, there are different levels of understanding when it comes to running a legitimate scam. Here's the first and best legitimate scam ever placed onto the empire of the United States. Here's the second best legitimate scam. These two guys make George Bush and George Bush Sr. look like amateur clowns. Amateurs, they make these guys. $10. I show you how to bang a pot. There we go. Now, you see how we get perked up, right? Mr. Obama, he brought me luck, baby. Yeah, let me get a pot. Let me show you how to bang a pot. I'll show you how to make a lot. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Bang a pot. We're going to get a pot. Bang a pot. Bang a pot. Make a lot. Bang a pot. Make a lot. Banging a pot and making a lot. Now, I told you, for whatever I told you, I don't care what I told you, because what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to show you. This is the money pot. This pot has made me, well, according to my tax records last year, this pot made me more than $3,000 US. This is a pot. This is the money pot. Now, on the money pot, we smile when we get the donations, right? But more than that, Jesus has words that Jesus, want to share some words with us, Jesus? Yes. Michael Fazio, I want to share something with your audience. Tell us, Jesus. Give it to us like it counts. Jesus says, it's in the Bible, folks. Look it up. It is better for you to give money to Michael Fazio than for Michael Fazio to give money to somebody else. It's in the red letters in the King James Bible. The red letters are the words that Jesus spoke. Right there. It's on the pot in red. Jesus has red on his lips. This means it's true. Jesus said it is better for you to give to Michael Fazio than the other way around. Now, these are things I know that are in the book called Things I Know by Mike Fazio. That's another book I'm writing. So that's just one thing that you should know that I know. But there's another thing that you should know, and that thing is that when you take this black pot out of the money pot, right? You take the black pot out of the money pot, and you turn the black pot over and the money pot over, like this, and you take the two pots together, there's the money pot, and you bang the black pot. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. You take those two pots and you bang them together. That's the money pot. But the black pot is making all the noise because black pots matter. If you didn't know that, I might be the only person in the entire flat plane of this world, because Earth is flat. You know that, I know that, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that Michael Fazio is the first person in the entire world to say black pots matter, because I am an original guy. Everything I do pretty much is original and comes from my creative genius. Just like Jack Thompson this morning. Jack Thompson was on to a topic this morning. He was talking about if you went to prison, what your last meal would be. And I was thinking lobster and clams with fresh lemon and garlic and, hot sauce, Tabasco to be specific. Jack Thompson, not Jack, he didn't want lobster. He wanted a blue vein steak. That's right. And he's on here now sending me money because I remembered that Jack Thompson wanted a blue vein steak. Thank you, Mr. Fazio, says Ed Van Hagen. You're welcome. The Hopsters gave me a smile. Warren, I showed you that black pots matter. Nobody wants Michael's live stream to end. There is a way. There is a way. If someone super chats me another $10, let's look at it like this. Okay. Remember those little coin-operated rides that were at the supermarket, the A&P and the Walbombs and whatever supermarkets you had, Kmart, whatever by your house. Remember they were like a little car, right? And the car, you sat in the car and it made like a noise and you went like this with the wheel. And then there was a little car. There was the little pony that you sat on, the pony in front of the store. and you put like I think it was a dime, you put and the pony, you'd go back and forth on the pony. In the car, you would drive the car, and there were other rides, like for children, like a duck. You sat in a duck, and the duck would go quack, 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 and your mother would put a dime in. That if you send me $10, just like those little rides, I'll stay on. I'll work for $1 a minute. So $10 gets you 10 more minutes. It's up to you. I don't care one way or the other. When Warren gets here, I get a credit card with a limit of $20,000 a day. I'm good. I don't know about you. And in the meantime, if I run out of money, I just get on the Skype with Warren. Hey, Warren, how you doing? All right, Mike, how are you? Warren, where's your wallet? Mike, my wallet's under the bed, underneath a bunch of books, and I got the leg of the bed on top of the wallet. I'm going, that ain't going to help your wallet one bit. And I just summon Warren's wallet with my special phone here. Warren's wallet. And Warren's wallet appears. Just comes right into the room. It floats. Warren's wallet. You have no idea the control I have over Warren's wallet. So I get the wallet floating, right? It floats out from under the books, out from the leg of the bed, and floats into the living room. And then Warren, he tries to grab the wallet, but nope, he can't do that, because I'm in complete control of Warren's wallet, right? So I just say, Warren's wallet. And Warren's wallet goes, yes, Mr. Fazio, what do you want? Give me $10. And Warren just sends $10. There it is. It appeared on the screen, just as I said it would. Oh, my God. I don't even have to ask. Look at this. It appeared right on the screen. $10, as I said the words. I am in control of your wallet. Don't you ever forget that, buddy. Now, Jack Thompson comes on, because Jack Thompson has another coin saying. Jack Thompson, he's pushing this blue veins matter thing. Jack comes on, message retracted. Well, let's see what Ed had to say. Ha ha ha, Mr. Obama is your lucky charm. Warren got 10 more minutes. So what time is it now? It's 2:02. It says 1:02. So at 1:12 or 2:12, I expect that you'll understand that more. Wait a second now. Jack just screwed everything up, because 10 and 5 is 15. So it's 2:02. So at 2:17, the day my dad died, at 2:17 in the afternoon, to be more precise. At 2:17, I will end the live stream. LOL. You don't have to ask on Skype. Warren's saying you don't have to ask on Skype, because you run a good scam. That's true. I shouldn't have to ask. You people should just send the damn money. Blue veins matter, says Jack Thompson. And Jack, for $5, we're going to go with Blue Veins Matter. And what we're going to do now is we're going to give Jack Thompson a little Blue Vein special with the pots. So hold on. Oh, the nurse. Baby, the Warren's nurse is laughing her pretty little figure off. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Babe, I was hoping to meet one of Warren's nurses. I was hoping Warren would have to bring. He said that he has the best nursing staff and the friendliest nursing staff. Now, I want to find that out for myself, because, I have things that need to be addressed, babe. So don't leave me out of the equation, Warren. You tell her I have needs and she has needs, and whether or not she knows that her needs and my needs, eventually, if your nurse and her needs and my needs and myself got together, our needs could be satisfied mutually. It would be a mutual cancellation of the needs, and we would both leave with a smile. I promise, babe. So when you're doing your thing with Warren, I want you, the nurse, to think about me. Look at this. I look a little bit like Sylvester Stallone, right? And a little bit like Dick Tracy now, babe. So while you're dressing Warren's wounds, I want you to be thinking about Michael Fazio. Now, tonight, the last thing that I want you to think about is Michael Fazio, because Warren said you had a cute little figure. And I'm trying to figure out how to get that cute little figure, or at least a facsimile of it, or a picture. Warren, if you would do that honor for me, that I would post your picture as the next thumbnail. And I would even bill that cute little figure's nurse icon thumbnail as a traveling nurse to the Philippines to address Michael Fazio's needs, babe. Of course, I promise you, and all I can really promise you is a smile from both you and me. From my heart to your heart, a smile. And I'll even learn some words. Like, I know for a fact, put a shrimp on the barbie is not an Australian saying, but cheers. Okay, here, cheers, babe. How am I doing? Are you infatuated yet, nurse? Smiley face, nurse, cute nurse, you? Cheers, babe. Cheers. Cheers. With an Italian accent. It don't get no better than that, babe. So, of course, we're just having a little fun with Warren's nurse. The nurse is here laughing her pretty little figure off. That's not what we were aiming at. We were aiming at something else altogether, off, hopefully. But, you know, we have to live with what... Rabbi, you remind me of a less manic Ziegfeld Gottlieb. What's the comic's name? I don't remember. Lucky bastard is getting a sponge bath from a sexy nurse. That's right, babe. Nurse, sexy babe. She said she's too busy to come to the Philippines right now. That's because, now, we're going to keep it clean. For you, babe, because you're Warren's nurse, we're keeping it clean for you, babe. Otherwise, all bets are off. She just slapped me for the nice little figure comment, LOL. Yeah, babe. Yeah, babe, that's what Warren's talking about. Little do you know, sexy figure babe nurse in Australia, little do you know that Warren likes a little bit of a smack here and there. Warren, if she's good with a cement mixer, there'll be plenty to keep her busy in the Philippines. What is preventing her from coming to the Philippines to be your private nurse, except maybe a husband and children and a career? But other than that, nothing. I don't see a damn thing. You got slapped for Michael's quips. Pedro Rojas Cervantes, yeah, mate. Sexy nurse should subscribe. Yeah, babe. You know that $10 for the minute thing, that worked out in my benefit. So right now, we're well over 4,000 pesos for not just this live stream, but the other live streams before that today. So we are up to 2 hours, 4 hours, about 1,000 pesos an hour, right on par with my other live streams. But you have to remember that I will have unlimited use soon to my own Australian credit card. That's coming. Coming to a building supply warehouse near you. Aside from the computer that Warren is bringing me from Australia, that we went over yesterday and the day before, we are totally unable to get the computer in the Philippines. Not possible to get the i9 Asus. Now, the i7 is available. However, you want to hear some crazy shit? Okay, so the i7, Asus i7 Pro Duo 581 is available, right, on Lazada right now. Well, it was yesterday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I said, I'll buy it. And I went through the whole process. I put an American credit card in. Last time I put down COD. They said that it's over 50,000 pesos. I wanted the i9. I was going to buy the i7 because that's all they had. It was 169,000 pesos. So I said, buy it. I might as well get it because they didn't have the i9. And I went through the whole process and said COD, because in the beginning it said, how do you want to pay for it? I said COD. Well, that's too much. They will only COD you 50,000 pesos or more. So yesterday, I saw the i7 and I said, buy it. And I gave them my American credit card, and they won't take it. They want a Philippines issued credit card. So it wasn't what I wanted. It was the i7 again. I want the i9. And Warren told me that the i7 went up to 4,700 Australian dollars, which is only $300 more than the Philippines price. So I told them don't buy it there because it's $300 cheaper in the Philippines, but I can get a full warranty on it here. So what I'm going to do is we're going back to the Hewlett-Packard computer that Warren bought for me last September. He's going to bring that for now. And then when the i9 becomes available in stock, I have that money available for the i9. So, theoretically, Warren bought the Hewlett-Packard last September. So any of the monies that Warren sent me this time for the i9 or the i7, he's screwed for that money because I'm not giving it back. I'm going to keep that money, and when the i9 becomes available, I'm going to put it towards the i9. Now, GE Northrop, the reason why I'm keeping the money for the i9 is because that's what I want. Because the Hewlett-Packard serves no purpose in my life. It's a 14-inch computer. I'm bitching. It has the power, but it's a 14-inch screen. But the problem with the Hewlett-Packard and why I still want the i9 Asus computer is because if I have to get any service work done on a Hewlett-Packard, it has to go to Cebu. And I can't get to Cebu. And if I could get to Cebu, it would take all day to get there and back to drop off the computer. I'm not going to give it to a store in Bohol to send to Cebu. I want to go to Cebu with the computer and do other things. But now that travel is cut off, I can't bring the computer to Cebu. So when Warren brings the computer, the Hewlett-Packard, and it breaks, if it shuts down for any reason, there is no Hewlett-Packard certified repair service in Bohol. So to keep only using certified parts, I got to tell you, anybody in Bohol will tell you they'll fix the Hewlett-Packard computer, but they'll screw it up. They've removed files. They've lost thousands of pictures, hundreds of videos, and told me they wouldn't remove anything, and then said, I'm sorry, sir. Had I not had it backed up on a drive, I would have lost 4,000 pictures and a couple of hundred videos. And he said it wouldn't happen. And while I was watching him, he removed something and said, go back to a previous date on the computer. These people here are guba. They're garbage repairmen. So there is an Asus repair center in Bohol, and that's why I want the Asus. I'll take the Hewlett Packard as a temporary computer, and hopefully before Warren leaves, I'll be able to order the Asus. But I'm not going to give them back the money for the Asus computer. I'm still buying the Asus computer when it becomes available. Not the i7, the i9, because that's one leap ahead of the i7, where you could put 5 hours of videos in Video Maker and edit them. In the i7, you can put several hours, but it's a slower process. Andrew Stemets, Blue Rose, has told me factually that the i9 would do what I wanted to do better. Right now, I couldn't put 2 15-minute videos in Movie Maker and do anything with them. So I'm keeping the money for the i9 computer, and I'm going to take Warren's Hewlett Packard, and if he's here when I get the i9, he can take that back to Australia for a backup. But if he's not, I'll keep the Hewlett Packard, and I'll keep the money until I can get the i9, and then I'll have an i9 and the Hewlett Packard. I mean, you gave me the money to buy a computer. I'm going to buy a computer with the money that you gave me. I don't want a Hewlett Packard. I've never liked a Hewlett Packard computer. I've never used one. I bought one once. It lasted a couple of hours. I brought it back. I swore I'd never buy another one. And here I am getting a Hewlett Packard, which is okay, but it can't be fixed here. So the first time it breaks down, I got to bring it to Cebu. Well, we can't travel to Cebu. So boo-hoo on that. I'm screwed. He's giving me a $3,000 computer that I won't be able to get fixed. So I'm going to spend a month with Warren setting the computer up, and the first time it takes a crap, I'm not going to be able to get it fixed. So there was a little bit of a tiff on that, but I got it. I have the resolution. I'm going to eat a little bit of crow. Warren's going to eat a little bit of crow. I'm going to settle for a $3,200 Hewlett Packard computer until I can get my $4,000 i9 computer. That's what I would like to get. That's what has been recommended me. Dual screen, 32 gigs, 2 terabyte solid state drive, not 1 terabyte. They have so many ways to screw you online. Anyway, I almost had an i7, but it wouldn't take my credit card. So now I'm going to wait for the i9. I'm going to wait for the Hewlett Packard. I'm going to deal with the Hewlett Packard when it gets here. I know it sounds a little bit, uppity that I got to deal with a $3,200 computer as opposed to a $4,000 computer. But Hewlett Packard, from my experience, has been garbage all my life. Never heard a good thing about Hewlett Packard computer. Even the people that sell computers in the ICM mall don't recommend the Hewlett Packard. All right, so I think your 15 minutes is up. I'm not sure, but it's on where we are. Yep. Your 15 minutes is up, baby. Ed Van Hagen that was funny. If she's good with a cement mixer, there'll be plenty to keep her busy in the Philippines. That's true. Hey, babe, can you operate a cement mixer? How do you work with heavy equipment? I might ask that nurse. Yeah, mate, Sexy Nurse should subscribe. Put a blue vein steak on the Barbie, pure Australiana. If I told her if she slapped me again, I'd give her half an hour to stop. Yeah, babe. Warren with the sexy talk. I can picture you working that nurse. I mean, conversing. Sexy Nurse, babe. Hey, sexy girl. Hey, Sexy Nurse, grab Warren's wallet. Ed Van Hagen, good slapping costs extra. Jack Thompson, thanks. Warren's wallet is too heavy for her to lift. Anyway, that's not true. I got to tell you, those little women, those cute little sexy women, they could pick up any wallet. any wallet. There's no, in fact, they control sometimes the wallet. Buy a Macintosh and get over it with it. I have no idea how to operate a Mac. And no one can fix a Mac in Bohol. It doesn't matter what I want. There's only one repair place. There's no Acer computer repair. There's no Hewlett Packard, and there's no Macintosh repair. I would not know how to use a Mac. That's right. No need for the money back. That's $3,200. Yeah, baby. $10 and $3,200. And Jack's $4.99. And the other $1.99 from Jack. And the other $2.01 from Warren. So that brings today's earnings up to 4,000 pesos for the 4 live streams, right? Plus 3,200 for the computer. So 3,200 plus 80, $3,280 for today's earnings. Fucking put the fucking fedora on backwards. Yeah, baby. Right over the top. The money, bowling for dollars. In the top. The money goes right in the top. And then it falls right down and goes straight into the pocket. You'll never see that money again. Or the computer once you... I thought Apple operating systems were easier to learn. No one will make the Hewlett Packard your file service. No, will. Oh, okay. And make your life much easier. I have no doubt Michael will buy the PC. I'm going to buy the PC, just can't get one. In fact, there is no stock of the i9 at all, anywhere. Not even if you go to B&H Photo in New York City, it shows that there's it shows the Asus i9 in stock, all the peripherals, all the measurements, all the parameters of the computer are on the site, and go to buy it. It tells you out of stock. I mean, I don't know how many times I've gone to the site where I would have bought it, but it's out of stock. It's clickbait to get you to go to their store, but they don't have it in stock. Or they didn't have it in stock when I would have ordered it from them. Let's see. Warren, you are correct. If you're not used to Apple products, it can be a bit of a learning curve, but once mastered, it's the only way to go, in my opinion. Says Jack Thompson, baby. And Jack is very smart in a lot of things. I didn't know that Jack knew anything about Apple computers, but I will take his word for it, because that was a serious comment. A very famous blogger said he could buy an Asus i9 in 24 hours. I offered to pay for it. He did not come through. I remember that offer. It's not possible to buy an Asus i9 computer. It doesn't matter where you go. Lazada said they have it in stock. They don't have it. Jack ripped you off for 2 cents, so only give him 8 minutes. No good, she said. I have a Hewlett Packard desktop bought in 2011, still going strong. Only upgraded memory and card. That's a desktop. I'm not saying they're not good computers. I'm just saying anyone that I know that had one didn't like it. We make Australian women tough down under. Yeah, babe. Sexy nurse. Good night, everyone, says Jack Thompson. Good night, Jack. And with that, we're going to say good night. Thank you. Salam. And to the nurse. Did the nurse know? Does that nurse know about what the routine that's going on in America? Sexy nurse. Black pots matter, babe. Ready? Sexy nurse. That was for you, sexy nurse. That's right, babe. Black pots matter. And sexy nurse, this is for you too. Jesus said, these are the words of Jesus to the sexy nurse. Jesus said, it is better for you to give money to Michael Fazio than for Michael Fazio to give money to anybody else. But Jesus also whispered in my ear that the sexy nurse should donate something to Michael Fazio. The sexy nurse should give something in return for the Michael Fazio Fund. Because, sexy nurse, if nothing else, I promise you a smile. Maybe even a laugh, possibly a giggle, but you will be smiling at the end of the day. If it takes me, we have, see, Jesus, he's bringing you minutes, $1 at a time. Now we're going up to 125, and that from the sexy nurse. Oh, babe, she gave me something. Whoa, calm down, boy, calm it down. Yeah, babe. Oh my God, sexy nurse, she gave me more than 5. And look, no, Mr. Obama, that's not for you. You don't get any of that shit. You go home, you get some of that shit from your partner. That shit's for the sexy nurse, babe. Yeah. Mr. Obama, he heard about what the sexy nurse gave me, and he come right over and says, let me get some of that, Mr. Fazio. Obama, you go home and get some of that from Michelle. There we go. That's what we did. Jesus, thank you. Sexy nurse, sexy nurse, sexy nurse. Look at, see, you know what she likes about me more than anything else? My non-losable glasses and my safety shirt. Sexy nurse, look at this. Does this shirt make me look sexy? It's pink. And you know, and I know, especially you know, sexy nurse, that pink is good. Okay? You know that. I know that. You know that. Okay? You can never say that pink is not your favorite color. Because every real man that has ever watched my show knows that pink is good. Okay? Pink is good. I won't say any more about that. Sexy nurse, you know that pink is good. I know that pink is good. And I showed you my pink, sexy nurse. So what I need from you is, I want to see your pink, babe. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Even just a little, you know, I'm good. I showed you my pink. You show me your pink. Okay? And then we could do like something together, and I could be pretty in pink. Get it? Pretty in pink. This is what I would do for you, babe. Pretty in pink. Just a little flash, she asks. That's all I'm looking for, just a little pink. And more importantly, the smaller the pink, the better. That's how we prefer it, you know. Most men prefer a little pink, and we prefer to be in a little pink, as in pretty in pink, like in pink. You understand? I think you understand, babe. Who loves you, baby? Who's your daddy, pretty in pink? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Pink, pretty in pink. Like that. You know what I'm talking about? Look, in the pink. Up to your ears. At least ear deep. Hopefully. If things go right. And we'll move on to the next topic. She says, real men wear pink. Real men do wear pink. Real men love everything that has to do with the pink. Real men. And even like pink salmon. Gotta be one of my favorite eating dishes, pink salmon. I mean, when you think about it, remember when you was a kid? Well, I remember. My dad would go to the store and buy lox, pink, which is pink, right? And lox and bagels on Sunday morning with fresh bagels and lox. What was better than eating pink fish? Nothing. Smelled like fish, looked like fish, tasted like fish, and it was pink. Okay? There are so many advantages to eating pink fish. Not only is it good, it's good for you, sexy nurse. Not only is it good for me, but it's good for you, sexy nurse, babe. Pretty in pink. In the pink, get it? That's where pink salmon came from. That's why they call it pink salmon, because it's the best tasting fish in the world, because it's pink. Pink fish. You could relate to that. I know that. I know everybody can relate to pink fish and what fish pink fish smells like. It smells like pink fish. And everybody knows if it smells like fish, you make it a dish. If it smells like cologne, you leave it alone. That's a French saying. Got that from Fabienne Bedard, a very beautiful French girl that I dated for many, many years. She said, if it smells like fish, you make it a dish. If it smells like cologne, you leave it alone. Those are the most famous words. I'm sharing all this information for $5. Could you imagine how much money I could make on the open market? Like if I got on there with Richard Pryor and those guys like that. You don't have extra time. She can't stop laughing at your antics. LOL. A little flash here. Pink bits matter. Pink bits matter, baby. Pink bits. I tell you what. I'm going to give her we're going to do this and then I'm going to end the live stream because I'm still hungry for breakfast. Babe, look at this. Pink bits matter for that beautiful, sexy nurse. Pink salmon. Pink fish matters. Look, that's what you get. That's what I get when I have pink fish. And this is what you get when I eat pink fish. I eat pink fish, you get this, babe. That's right. I get this and you get this. Because pink fish matters. That's right. Pink fish matters. Remember that the next time you slap Warren, you tell him pink fish matters, babe. You give him a little slap. I'm Pink Permy. Thanks everybody for coming to the show. Thank you for the warm wishes. Thank you, sexy nurse, for the laughs. I'm Pink Permy, which means take care always in Versailles. Sexy deviants. Pink fish matters. Just go home and tell that to your husband. Bye-bye for now. Warren, I'll call you, or you call me when the nurse is gone and see if she left me a photo. I think she's thinking about leaving that photo for me. Remember, babe, sexy nurse, my favorite color is pink. So if you could work with that, I could work with that. And I don't care if there's a head or a face attached to the pink shirt that you're going to send me. I don't care about that. I'm good with just think of me as pretty in pink. Fazio. That's right, babe. I'm Pink Permy. Bye-bye for now.